Welcome once again to the channel. It's Eugene Talks Football, the home of football, the home of soccer. This is where we talk about soccer. We analyze soccer. We analyze football, the round leather game. We talk extensively about soccer, and that is the reason why you should click the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your views, what you think about everything that we talk about here on the channel. Welcome aboard to the channel. The FA Cup promises and the FA Cup delivers. I analyzed this in my previous video and I focused on the game between Manchester United versus Liverpool. Guess what? That game was, listen, a moment of silence for the people who failed to watch that game. That was a crunchy game. But before we talk about that, we recap the games that were played prior to the game. Wolves, a Premier League team. You know what happened? They lost to Coventry City, a championship team, at home at the Molineux. So it was Coventry 2, I beg your pardon, Wolves 2 and Coventry City 3. Coventry City, a championship team, defeated Wolverhampton Wanderers, a Premier League team, at the Molineux, at the home of Wolverhampton Wanderers, to progress to the semi-final of the FA Cup. That is what the FA Cup promises, and it never fails to deliver. I told you people, stay tuned to the channel. Remember to click the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And the other game that was played on Saturday alongside the game between Wolves and Coventry City, Manchester City, of course, what do you expect? They made light work of Newcastle United. And they have the Newcastle United, they're having a rough patch this period. Eddie Howe is embattled. He's having a tough moment at the club. The fans are not happy. The fans are calling for his sack. And of course, you wonder, why hasn't he been sacked since? Before now, they've had a very horrendous season since it began. The former manager that Eddie Howe succeeded, Steve Bruce, finished 12th, and he was, relieved of his job. So I wonder why Eddie Howe is still in that job. Of course, we're talking about the FA Cup. Manchester City led 2-0 at the break, and the second half was just like a training session. So Manchester City progressed at the expense of Newcastle to the semi-final of the FA Cup. And there were games played, dramatic games played today. Chelsea versus Leicester City, very entertaining affair as well. Of course, we know Chelsea, they are having a very a terrible season. Mauricio Pochettino is under fire as well. They're having, their season is just doom and gloom. They're just grinding out results, trying to ensure that they end the season on a high. They are wallowing in 11th position in the table, the Premier League table, but they managed to scrape through and qualified to the semi-final of the FA Cup. They were leading. They were very comfortable in the game in the first half. They were 2-0 up at the break. Guess what? Chelsea. It's the Chelsea thing this season. So it started since last season, by the way. The Leicester City came back strong in the second half, and the level scores 2-2. There was a moment of madness from the centre back of Chelsea, Axel Disasi. He scored an own goal. He wanted to do a back pass to the goalkeeper, and he puts the ball in the back of his own net, thereby bringing Leicester City, giving Leicester City confidence, making them believe that they're going to come back into the game. And eventually they did. They equalized 2-2 in the 67th minute or thereabout. But there was a moment of madness also from Leicester City. They had a man sent off who had Nicholas Jackson clear on goal. And it was just a lucky moment for that defender who nearly brought down Nicholas Jackson in the 80-yard box, but he was lucky enough to not concede a penalty. He brought down Nicholas Jackson just an inch into the 18-yard box, but he was sent off as he was the last man marking the striker. So, if you are one man down as a championship team, Leicester City I'm talking about, against a Premier League team like Chelsea, of course, you know what happens. The game ended 4-2 in favor of Chelsea, and they progressed to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Now let's talk about the big one, Manchester United at Old Trafford against Liverpool. Liverpool were the favourites by a lot of fans. They tipped Liverpool to go ahead to qualify to the semi-final over Manchester United. But this is the FA Cup. That's what That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. What a game of football. They went toe to toe with each other as the game began. Manchester United were on the front foot in the first 20 minutes, and their performance, they gave them a goal, and they were 1-0 ahead through what's his name again? I'm not a Manchester United fan. Scott McTominay. He put Manchester United ahead in the first 20 minutes, and they were very comfortable in the lead. And towards the end of the first half, Liverpool, of course, they showed their mettle, they showed their quality, they showed why they are fighting for the league. They showed why they are fighting us, they're fighting Arsenal for who is going to win the league alongside Manchester City. Of course, they went 2-1 ahead in the break. The halftime score was 2-1 in favor of Liverpool, the away side. You know what I mean? That's the FA Cup. Listen to what happened in the second half. Well, the second half resumed, and before you know it, Manchester United leveled. It was 2-2 at full time, and they went into extra time. It was a different story entirely. Topsy-turvy game, a heated game. They showed quality, they showed grit. Credit to Manchester United. To crown it all, Manchester United won that game 4-3 after extra time, thereby progressing to the semi-final of the FA Cup. That makes up the 4 teams that have made it to the semi-final of the FA Cup, thereby dampening the hopes of Liverpool, dampening the hopes of Jurgen Klopp, who is leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. They were thinking that they're going to be having a farewell trophy party, and they were thinking they're going to be having a stopover at Wembley. Manchester United, gate crashed that dream. Eventually, Jurgen Klopp is not going to be stopping over at Wembley Stadium for during his trophy farewell party. Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, stopped that dream. So they are left with just the treble dream. Of course, Arsenal, Manchester City are going to stand in their way. The Premier League. You think you're going to win the Premier League? I think you've got an explanation to do to Arsenal and Manchester City. Come on, let's go. So immediately after the game between Man United and Liverpool, it was the draw for the semi-final. Guess what? It's Coventry City versus Manchester United in the first semi-final of the FA Cup. And guess what? Chelsea fans, listen to this. It's Manchester City versus Chelsea, and both games will be played at the Wembley Stadium on the 20th and 21st of April, respectively. That's a very mouth-watering affair as well. But of course, you will favor Manchester United to go through to the final eventually at the expense of Coventry City. But don't forget, it's the FA Cup. Anything happens. Before the game between Wolves and Coventry City, no one thought that Wolves would pull off what they did. And that's why the FA Cup never fails to produce. That's why the FA Cup never fails to deliver. Yes, and the other game is between Manchester City and Chelsea. I'm not a Chelsea fan. But you never know. Chelsea, they want to finish the season on a high. They know that there is nothing for them in Europe this season. They're never going to, you never know. They're never going to make it to even the Europa League. I hear some Chelsea fans are saying it's better to not even qualify for the Europa Conference League or the Europa League, as it will affect their financial stability. Well, it's up to them. But Manchester City, somehow I am very excited that Man City have progressed to the semi-final. They'll have more games. I think it's an added advantage for Arsenal because 20th, 21st April, Manchester City will be engaged, where Arsenal will be having a rest, because the running for the Premier League title is going to be a very tough encounter. Credit to these 3 teams. It's one of the best title races ever. You know, you can see the Premier League table. Arsenal and Liverpool, they are level on points, 64 points apiece. Arsenal are on top by goal difference, and Manchester City are just a point adrift of these 2 teams. So listen, the next 10 games, the last 10 games leading to the finale of the Premier League. Watch out, people. Watch out, people. Come on, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new. Hit the like button. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. What do you think about the FA Cup drama on Saturday and Sunday? And of course, the semi-final draw. Let me know your thoughts. Manchester United fans, Chelsea fans, and Manchester City fans. Of course, Coventry City fans. Credit to them for making it to the semi-final of the FA Cup alongside the big boys. Yes, the big boys. Yeah, that's what they called. Now, I mentioned in my previous video about the fixtures for the weekend. Now it delivered. In the Premier League, the games played in the Premier League, it's Burnley 2, Brentford 1. Luton 1, Luton Town 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Fulham, the London Derby, Fulham at the Craven Cottage thrashed Tottenham Hotspur 3-0. In case you don't know, Tottenham Hotspur are fighting hard, tooth and nail, to make the top 4, in order for them to play in the Champions League next season. Dented their hopes, though it's not over yet, but they had a chance to leapfrog Aston Villa from the 4th place, but Fulham stood in their way. Therefore, they remain 5th. They remain in 5th position. That's a massive result, by the way. I hear a Tottenham fan the other day saying they are capable of finishing ahead of Arsenal. Did you just say that? What are you smoking? What are you talking about? Are you serious? Then you better win the league. Spurs better win the league. If you are nursing the ambition of finishing ahead of Arsenal this season, I'm sure you are favourite to win the league, because Arsenal is top of the league. We are top of the league. We are top of the league. Arsenal is top of the league. So that's the result. Then, of course, on Sunday, it's West Ham 1, Aston Villa 1. So Aston Villa retained their position in the Premier League. They remain 4th in the position, 3 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. Okay, we move over to La Liga. La Liga. What is going on in La Liga? The games that were played on Saturday, let's look at it quickly before we proceed. It's Mallorca, of course. Mallorca 1, Granada 0, Osasuna 2, and Real Madrid 4. I pause a little bit. I need to apologize to someone, a great player, sensational player, one of the best players in the world, in my opinion. And of course, you would also agree with me, Vinicius Junior. He has been on a goal-scoring streak that has spanned 5 games. 5 games on the bounce. Vinicius Junior has been finding the back of the net. And here I was speaking in my previous video saying that Vinicius Junior isn't living to his height. Of course, I'm sorry, Vinicius Junior, you are an outstanding player. Of course, he was on target yesterday as they beat Osasuna 4-2. Now, surely, unless something dramatic happens in La Liga, surely Real Madrid will be crowned champions of La Liga 2022-2023 season. But watch out for that. There's still a lot of football to be played. Of course, Getafe 1, Girona 0. Yeah, and of course, Barcelona are playing at the time of recording this video. Barcelona are up against Atletico Madrid away at the Wanda Metropolitano. That's not going to be an easy game. But if they win that game, they will leapfrog Girona, who lost to Getafe by 1-0. They'll leapfrog Girona into second place. But it's going to be a tough ask for them if they are going to battle Real Madrid for the title, as they are currently top of the league, 10 points clear. They are 10 points clear of second place Girona, who lost to Getafe 1-0. So Barcelona have a mountain to climb as they slug it out with Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. And the results of games played in La Liga, the remaining results, I said Athletic Club 2, Alaves 0, Sevilla 1, unfortunate. They lost at home to Celta Vigo 2-1, Sevilla there. Las Palmas 0, Almeria 1, Villarreal 1, Valencia 0. That's the result for the weekend, the games that were played in the weekend. Of course, we had a few games in the Premier League due to the commitment in the FA Cup, and I just gave you the results of the games that were played, including the dramatic FA Cup encounters that went down today. So that's the update there. But we will not end this video without talking about our club, Arsenal. Arsenal Football Club. What is going on? I mentioned this in my previous video. Arsenal are set for mass exodus to boost summer funds, with 3 players set to chop. The reason it is said that there are 3 players, because these players are pivotal or are very important players at Arsenal, for Arsenal, because they are academic graduates. They are players who will generate 100% funds for the club. So Arsenal is looking to move these players on in the summer, all right, in order to generate funds for targets, for summer targets, for players that we are looking to add to our squad come this next season. I mentioned this in my previous video that Arsenal is looking to move forward. We want to dominate both in the Premier League and in Europe. We don't want to our performances, the awareness we are creating now at this moment in time. We don't want it to be a flash in the pan. If you have an outstanding performance the previous season and the ongoing season, it is important to consolidate on it. It is only wise to ensure that you remain there. That's what success is about. Success is, you have to make it a constant thing. You have to keep going. You have to keep trying to become better and better. So we have a mission. After last season, after we dropped off last season and finished second, a lot of persons were saying that was Arsenal's season. That was the season Arsenal were meant to win the league. And since they didn't win the league, that's the end for them. This season, they're not going to even come close to the top 4. We are right on top of the league. We are top of the league. We are here to stay. We're going nowhere. We are going to dominate for the next couple of years. We will win the major titles. We've never won the Champions League. We are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We have revenge at stake. This is the time. William Saliba, it's a massive opportunity for you. Bukayo Saka, this is an opportunity for you. Declan Rice, this is a huge opportunity for you. Martin Odegaard, here is your opportunity. Gabriel Martinelli, your opportunity is here. Hear you. A lot of people have favored Bayern Munich to knock out Arsenal. I can imagine what these players are thinking in their houses, in their homes. I can imagine what they were thinking after the draw. Were they a kind of downcast? Did their mind go back to the previous encounters between these two clubs? Did they remember the humiliation we suffered at the hands of Bayern Munich? Have they looked themselves in the mirror and say, we are the ones who are going to do it? As a fan, I am buzzing for that game. I'm looking forward to that game. It's an opportunity for us to show people who we are, the quality we possess, that we can go toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich. I'm sorry I'm digressing a bit, but yeah, it's part of the talk. We talk football here. So these players that Arsenal is looking to move on in order to boost our finances this season, Emil Smith-Rowe. We all know Emil Smith-Rowe is a quality player. Remember, he was called up for the England national team previously, but he's just been hampered by injuries. It's quite unfortunate. And the level at which we are playing at currently, we cannot have too much patience with a single player. I can't fault Arsenal for wanting to move him on. At this stage, we have been patient with him for a couple of seasons now, and it looks increasingly as though the injury crisis is going to keep recurring. So it's important for Arsenal to move him on, and I will always wish Emil Smith-Rowe the best in his subsequent clubs and playing career. And of course, the other players include Edin Ketia and Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson is also a player that I love very much, but Arsenal need to make profit on top of these players. And of course, we all know the Premier League's profit and sustainability rule that is hovering around all teams in the Premier League. Of course, Manchester City, they have 115 charges on their heads right now that they're going to face for falsifying transfers, for faking transfers, for not being transparent in their transfers. So Arsenal is trying to avoid all that. You don't have to bring out money from the coffers of the owners. The club needs to generate money from player sales. All right? So that is the reason players need to move on. So these three players, they are key players for Arsenal. And of course, Arsenal is going to make, of course, good money from their sales. And of course, Thomas Partey, will also be moving on. But I don't think definitely we will not be making any money on Cedric Soares and Mohamed El Neni as they are running down their contracts at the end of this season. So they'll be leaving on a free, but it will just clear the space for new players, more quality players to come in. So that's the update with regards to incomings and outgoings. There's a video that's going viral, yesterday, if I'm correct, of a fan speaking to Kylian Mbappe, an Arsenal fan, and he asked him, I want you to come to Arsenal. And Kylian Mbappe laughed and said, no. And the fan mentioned Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry was one of you were an idol. Thierry Henry was your idol while you were growing up. Come on, you can replicate what Thierry Henry did for Arsenal. In that light. So he said, no. Though he didn't mention the actual reason why he didn't want to go to Arsenal. Of course, we all know that Kylian Mbappe is Real Madrid bound. Of course, do you not know that? Come ask Fabrizio Romano. He will tell you more about Kylian Mbappe's future. Respect to PSG. He's still a PSG player. He's got games to play for PSG. But of course, we all know that Real Madrid is calling. He's already had a pre-agreement with Real Madrid. So the video just went viral. So he ended up saying London is too cold, and that's the reason why he's not coming to Arsenal. Okay, good luck to Kylian Mbappe. But one good news for Arsenal is that Kylian Mbappe's imminent move to Real Madrid will create a pathway for one player's departure from Real Madrid and possibly to Arsenal. Good news, right? And that player has been sensational for Real Madrid this season. That player just pledged his allegiance to Morocco. He's pledged his allegiance to Morocco national team and dumped Spain. He was born in Spain. I think he's got mixed nationality, both Spain and Morocco. He's eligible to play for Morocco and he's eligible to play for Spain, for the Spanish national team. Does that? But that's his choice. You can never say. So that player is Brahim Diaz. That guy's been doing very well this season, scoring goals, racking in performances, week in, week out. Is one of the Carlo Ancelotti's favorite players. I've watched him a couple of times, and he's only his price is like £60 million. That's not much for a very young, versatile midfield player, attacking player. He can play in the attack, can play in the attacking midfield role, can play Martin Odegaard's role, he can play Martinelli's role, he can even play the false nine role. Of course, Mikel Arteta is a lover of versatile players, and that's why there's so much versatile players at Arsenal Football Club. Of course, we are getting results from it, so big up to Mikel Arteta there. The Mr. Waffle settings, according to Curtis Shaw. Okay, lastly, we talk about a certain player that I really feel for. I feel for this player. Now, at the beginning of the season, he was on loan. He's still on loan at Real Sociedad. You know, gets playing time, you know, because his style of play doesn't gel with Mikel Arteta's plan. It's not as if he's not a good player. He's a quality player. I'm talking about Kieran Tierney. But injuries. When it looks as though he's recovering from a certain injury and is getting games week in, week out, the injury just recurs again. And right now, Real Sociedad are saying they're not going to be making the deal permanent. So he's going to return to Arsenal at the end of the season. Because as we speak, he's currently injured again. So he has hardly featured for Real Sociedad. Who keeps a player that keeps getting injured? I wouldn't blame them for that. So, boy, you got to come back to Arsenal and we see what we do with you in the summer. Because we've got bigger ambitions. Big up to Kieran Tierney. He's done big things for us in the past. I can't fault you there on that one. But good luck to you next time with injuries and all of that. So, yeah, as you all know, reminder, Arsenal is not playing. It's not active until the 31st of March, when we'll be traveling to the Etihad to face the champions, the Premier League champions, and the Champions League champions, the FA Cup champions. We're going to the Etihad to play them on the 31st March. I ain't scared of City. They should be scared of the Arsenal. We are 1 point ahead of them. They should be scared of us. Bukayo Saka said recently that we can beat City at the Etihad. Of course, we know the character that Bukayo Saka is. He's not the type that talks all the time. There's confidence buzzing in that dressing room. I can see that Mikel Arteta has given this boy something. Confidence, energy, tenacity, desire, hunger, fight, grit, ambition, purpose. He said, we can beat City. It's not going to be easy. So the boys will just go out there. We want to win the league this season. It's achievable. I watched Liverpool today, taking nothing away from them. Massive respect to Liverpool Football Club. They've suffered injuries recently. Their number one goalkeeper has been injured. Yet they're doing well. But I watched the game today. They, there's nothing special. No disrespect to them. They're a lovely team to watch. But Manchester United, they are in the mud this season, I beg your pardon. They were almost the better team. Of course, we know Liverpool are playing away, but it's 11v11. So we can win. We have everything that it takes to win this league. On Arsenal transfers, it is looking increasingly clear that Arsenal are front runners for the signature of the Napoli striker, the Nigerian striker that plays for Napoli, Victor Osimhen. Arsenal are leading the race according to some sources, reliable sources, by the way. Arsenal are leading the race for Napoli striker Victor Osimhen. Of course, we are linked with other strikers like Benjamin Sesko of RB Leipzig, Victor Gyökeres of Sporting. I watched him against Atalanta the other day. I didn't really see much of him in that game, talking about Victor Gyökeres. So, but we'll see what happens in the coming weeks when the transfer window opens proper. So to wrap up this video, I'll talk a bit about the Champions League. I was talking about it earlier. So it is a massive opportunity for these players at Arsenal Football Club. They should be buzzing for this game. They should be excited to show themselves, to put themselves on the map, to write their names on the sands of time. To that term that Bayern are having a rough patch this season. As such, Arsenal have an advantage over them. No, I don't agree with that. They don't have injuries. They have arguably the best number 9 in the world in Harry Kane. They've got young talents, brilliant players. Jabal Musiala, Sajid Gnabry, Leroy Sané. They've got Davies, Alphonso Davies, to Real Madrid next summer. They've got quality players. They've got Leon Goretzka, just to mention but a few. The old warhorse Thomas Muller is there. But we are the Arsenal. We can beat these lots. So it's a huge opportunity for our club, Arsenal Football Club. A massive opportunity to make it to the last 4 of the Champions League. So these boys should be excited. They should be happy for this challenge. That's the video there, people. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button. Make your voice heard. Make your put in your comments. Liking this video is instrumental to making this channel grow. Without you out there, there is no us here. So I implore you all to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you again. Peace.